It's been a volatile year in presidential politics. Could you tell us if you support the candidate at the head of your party's ticket?
Certainly. So this question has been a question that I've thought long and hard since the rise of Donald Trump. It's been almost a year, a little over a year since he has announced for president of the United States, and I don't think I've seen an election like this in my entire lifetime, nor do I think I will ever see an election like this again in my entire lifetime. I do have grave concerns about my candidate, and that was part of the reason why I refrained from really speaking about it early on in the process, because I really didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, throughout the duration of this campaign, Donald Trump has said many incendiary things that are uncalled for and shouldn't be included in the political process. And I'm proud of the fact that Joe and I, in lieu of the fact that we are opponents, that we haven't stooped down to that level, which both Trump and Hillary have engaged in now for months. And I think people are tired of that. I'm somebody who's socially progressive and fiscally conservative, and I'm not sure if Trump meets that bill. I've long liked Gary Johnson, even when he ran 2 years ago against Mitt Romney, and I plan on actually voting for him, which is not normal for a Republican to say and openly, but I think it's important that voters know that, because he's somebody who is being well received by people in my population. In some polls, he's ranked #1 with the millennials compared to Trump and Hillary. So I think that speaks volumes, and I think I wish there were more options, quite frankly. But I am very uncomfortable with both nominees, and I don't think that they represent the future in America and the greatest in America. And so I do think my party needs to do a soul searching after this. It has been very tough to run in this very volatile environment when we should be talking about issues confronting our state, like a $2.7 billion budget deficit and Governor Malloy's failed record. So, I'm committed to continuing to talk about the issues, but I do plan on voting for Gary Johnson for president this November.
All right. Be fair, Mr. Dela Cruz, your candidate at the head of your tickets had her own issues.
She has
the use of the private server, which and the recent revelation that she seemed to have been told to vote as one thing and Wall Street executives something else. So, to be fair, I want to hear your view on the top of your ticket, what you plan to do.
Well, I'm voting for Hillary. I'm supporting Hillary, and I feel like we are down to two candidates. Gary Johnson will not be our next president under any circumstances unless something really crazy happens. So it's almost a vote that's probably not going to count. And I brought up Trump's name a lot of times, probably just in our debate, and as offensive as he has been from the very beginning, from everything he's ever said, he almost cost me every dime that I own personally. Because everybody at work was saying he'd be the nominee out of the Republican Party. And I told him I'd bet my life and all my money on it. And if someone took me up on that, I would have lost, because there were a lot of fine people, I thought, that were on that side, and they didn't come out of that side. And I think that you're stuck kind of with that candidate through that process. And the most dangerous thing that I hear him talk about, I mean, he said a lot of offensive things that I completely don't agree with. And I dismissed, early on I knew that's who he was, but when he talks about getting rid of the federal minimum wage, that's what gets my blood pressure going. Really, I think, and a lot. It goes back to you talking about issues. It's like, we're not talking about issues. We're talking about a lot of things that, to me, that he does. I mean, they should matter, because he would be the president of our country if he was there. I just dismissed the fact that he ever could be president. And now that I'm sitting here thinking that there's a chance, of course I'm supporting Hillary. I mean, she's the other side. She's going to be. There's two choices, and hopefully. We all get our thinking caps on here and make the right choice here in November, because, and again, we need to bring other people in. I understand the actual being a union metal worker and walking on a site and talking to my guys and guys I consider brothers and sisters that say they're going to vote for Trump. There is something he has tapped into. The middle class has been hurting for a long time. And they're mad, and I get it. I get why they're mad, but you know, I remind them is, would cutting minimum wage to zero help the middle class? And those are the issues I want to talk about. Would cutting business taxes help the middle class? And so that's I guess that was a long answer to a short question. But sorry.
Just so we get some, at least one or two more questions. But I appreciate the response from both candidates. Next question to you, Mr. Dela Cruz.